Welcome to my CompTIA Security Plus SY0-401 question review. Here we're looking at questions 26 through 30. Alright, when one app trusts another, this model of trust is called a Transitive Trust model. Again, Transitive Trusts greatly simplify the administration and provides transparent single sign-on when applicable. So, I'm going to give you an example of transitive trusts, and then we'll talk about single sign-on. So, when you go to a website, Google, and it is secured via HTTPS, well, why do we trust that certificate? Well, we trust that certificate because we trust the certificate authority that's issuing that certificate. So, because we trust the certificate authority, we trust the sites that they trust. That's transitive trusts. So, single sign-on. You log into a workstation at a corporate environment, and then maybe you have to sign into Microsoft Office, for example. Well, the new versions of Microsoft Office allow the credentials to be passed from the login into logging into Microsoft Office. It will allow us to pass those credentials or pass that trust token on. What are logs used for, and why do we audit logs? Logs are used for us to be able to review events that we want to monitor. We could monitor security events, login attempts, login failure attempts, maybe when applications crash, or maybe we want to log every time a certain resource is at a specific threshold. Why do we audit them? We audit them to kind of verify or to check. Maybe I want to see the last 20 failed-in attempts for yesterday at a certain time. I could do that by auditing those logs. So when you're configuring an IPsec VPN tunnel, make sure that we are using the most appropriate or the highest level encryption that's possible. For example, if we have a device that can only use 512-bit encryption and we want to use 1024-bit encryption, is it possible? Well, the device we're using doesn't support it, so it's not possible. So again, normally if we have multiple levels of bit encryption, the highest level that our device or devices can use is the highest one we want to use. So if we have 3 devices that are 512, 1024, and 1024, what's the highest one that we can use? Well, a choice has to be made. The one that supports 512, is that critical? Can we get rid of it? Or is that the most common denominator between all of them? And on the exam, more than likely, you're going to be expected to, well, since you haven't really asked that question, you're kind of just having to answer that question by figuring that's the most common denominator and just dealing with it. Though in reality, you'd be asking, can we replace that device instead? What protocol best secure FTP? Again, make sure you understand that SFTP is different from FTPS. One is FTP over SSL, one is FTP over SSH. If we're doing encryption, normally we're looking at AES. If we're having to do a hash, we're looking at a SHA variation. We do not want to have a SHA-1 variation. SHA-1 is no longer feasible in today's marketplace. If it has a SHA-1 hash, most vulnerability scanners will flag it as no longer appropriate. What is a OTP? OTP stands for one-time password. An example would be like a text. If I go to pay a bill, I can't pay the bill until it texts my cell phone number a 4-digit code. That code allows me to log into my account. Or if you have ever played World of Warcraft, WoW, if your account has ever been hacked, they provide you a fob. And that fob generates a one-time password. You use that to log in. That verifies that you are you, and it does that by the system being able to give you that one-time password on a approved device, whether it be a cell phone, whether it be a fob, things of that nature. Alright, that's the 5 questions for this chapter, or for this review. If you have any questions or concerns, leave a comment. I'll get to them as quickly as I can. Thank you, and you have a great day.